What's up, builders? So say you're building a voice agent in ElevenLabs, right? And you've got all these knowledge-based documents, right? You're adding all of this stuff to the knowledge base. Maybe it's an SOP, maybe it's information about your companies or products or order history or whatever you want to do this, right? Now, in the ElevenLabs application, you can, of course, add and remove documents from here, but when you're doing this at scale or you're doing this in volume, when you have hundreds of documents, you want to manage them, you need a way to automatically update and add and remove documents. So this is what this N8N flow, so this is going to be a walkthrough of ElevenLabs API combined with N8N, okay? So the first thing that we're going to do here, you'll notice that I've got a Google Drive where all of this documentation sits and resides. And this is, of course, valuable for if you have other clients or you have non-technical people that want content managers or whatnot. You have a particular warehouse of information. This can be a database, it can be wherever. You just need a store of information to trigger this. So this Google Drive trigger node, you can set to say, hey, every day at noon, check this to see if anything is updated. And you'll notice that the trigger on condition is changes involving a specific folder from the list. Watch for file updated. Now you'll notice in this dropdown, there are a few different options. File updated will handle use cases of both new files and updated files. So you don't need two different trigger nodes for file created and file updated. So you'll see that I ran this recently. We've got a new doc that comes in and we'll see, here we go, testing N8N automation name. Okay, you get this name and you get this ID. Okay, and that is something that I just created here. Let's go ahead. I actually deleted it. Let's do this in real time. So if I come in here in this folder and I name this Hello YouTube and I hit enter. Hello everyone. Happy 2026. Happy New Year. All right, so that is going to save here. Let's run this. All right, so this trigger runs. We'll see. Look at me, O'Connor. Let's see if this comes through. There we go. Hello, YouTube. All right, so I have this file and it was updated, right? There's a new file that's coming through. Hello, YouTube. Then what do I do? All right, I'm going to set some important variables. Two things I'm going to grab from this previous trigger. The first one is the document name, which you can just come find right here, grab it, and drag it right in here, which is, you see, hello YouTube. The second important thing, I need the Google ID, document ID, okay? Because I'm going to use this to download the file and shove it into ElevenLabs. The agent ID here is unique to each agent that you build in ElevenLabs. At the very top header here, you'll have an agent ID, which you can just click and copy. Okay. Next node, you need to get the agent config. So if we go into the API docs, you'll see there is a get agent endpoint where you can find out a bunch of information about your agent. So we have an HTTP request node. Let's execute this. And you'll see that here is the endpoint. You need the agent ID, which is why I set that in the previous node. I'm just going to drag that over, json.agent_ID. Now you do need to pass an API key from ElevenLabs in order to do this. So I have chosen, instead of making a header with each request, I've tied this into an authentication. You can go generic credential type, header off, and then here's the name of the API key that you pass. And then, of course, you get this value from your own ElevenLabs account. Let's see if I can show you where this is. Where is that at? Developers? Yes, developers, API key. Hit create key and get all the access that you want. Hit create and then copy it. If I create this, I'll do a permission just to show you. There we go. And you get this, copy it to the clipboard, drop it right in here to N8N or wherever you want to use this. Okay, so when I run this, I'm going to get back a lot of information about this existing agent, okay? But the useful thing that I want here is I want to know, you see all these knowledge base files that are sitting in the middle here, right? There's 100 files that are attached to this agent. File, the name, the ElevenLabs document ID associated with each of the documents, and then there's a usage mode. This ID and this name is what is important and what we will use here. Okay, so we want to extract the ElevenLabs document ID from this list if it is a match. Okay, so what this does is this pulls in the entire array of the knowledge base documents, and it checks a simple JavaScript mapping script if this doc already exists in the array. Okay, so if I execute this, I've got is update false. So you'll see that I just added hello YouTube in, right? So this is a new document. It does not exist in this 100 document array, did not exist. So it's telling me, hey, we didn't find a match here. And you'll see that ElevenLabs doc ID is null. Because if there was a match, I need to know what is the ID of the ElevenLabs document in order to modify it here. So the next if statement here, is this update true? Is this an existing documentation or a new document? And in this case, it's new. Okay, so it hits the false branch and it skips delete old doc. Now, why do I need to delete the existing documentation if we just updated it? Well, if you go into the API, you scroll down to knowledge base. Oh, there's a patch. We'll just update the document. We don't, why do we need to delete it? Unfortunately, at this time, this endpoint only updates the name of the document, which in my mind is not very useful. So what you have to do, instead of quote unquote updating the document, you just delete it and then re-add it. So that is why I have a delete step here, where we take the ElevenLabs document ID, delete it. Now, what's the next step? Okay, I have a file name from Google Drive. I know I want to add it. This is a new document. So now we execute download new document. And instead, so you'll see resource, file, operation, download. Instead of by URL or from list, by an ID. And remember, we set this Google Drive ID document number here. This gives us an output of a binary file. So you see hello YouTube as a document come through, a little baby file, 6 kilobytes. It's now sitting in this workflow available for us to use as a binary file. Now, what we need to do is we need to upload this new file in to the knowledge base of ElevenLabs. Now remember, this knowledge base, when you look on the configure tab, is not attached to an individual agent. This is your general knowledge base store inside of your ElevenLabs account. Okay, and you can see how much RAG storage you've got going up in here and how much percentage you're allowed to use. You can see I've only got about 6 meg sitting in here. It's not that much. And the account can have 104 for this particular pro account. I believe this one is on. So we're going to upload this new file into the knowledge store. So that is, we have a post, which is create knowledge base document from file. You'll see what is required here is, once again, the API key and also the file itself. It will also take name here as a request parameter, which we should do. That way it's not just a file shoved in there without a name. And I'll show you it right here in this request. Post request, here's the endpoint. Once again, I have this header auth, which has my API key sitting in here. Excuse me. Now I did add another header here that I noticed in the curl, which is content type, multi-part form data. N8N probably would have pushed that through for me and it would have been okay, but I added it anyways, just for fun. Form data. So you want to toggle because we're sending a body because we're uploading this binary file. Parameter type, N8N binary file. This name is file. This is from the request on ElevenLabs side. So that is the name of the value key value pair that it is expecting. So the name is file. And then the input data field name is what this binary is called in N8N, which is data. I know it's a little bit confusing here. Probably could rename some of this to make it a little bit more clear on your end. And then additionally, I'm adding an additional body parameter. I am adding the name of the document here, which I set in that earlier edit fields node. And you'll see this expression is being evaluated to hello YouTube. So I know that it is working appropriately. Execute step, boom, okay. Now you'll notice this output, when successful, gives me the name of the file, hello YouTube. I also get another ID here. Now this is the ElevenLabs ID associated with this document. And if I come back to my list here and hit refresh, you'll notice hello YouTube is now sitting at the top of this list here. And then you can see in the file content, hello everyone, happy 2026, happy new year. So it is now inside of the document store, available for use. Now the last part, which is important, I need to update any agent that I want to use this new document. Excuse me. And in order to do that, we're going to have to use a patch for the entire agent, which is update agent. Now remember, knowledge base documents attached to this agent are sitting in an array. So I can't just push the new document ID into the agent and go on with my day. I have to pass the entire new updated array with the new document ID plus all of the old ones. So that is what this code node is doing. I am extracting the previous array plus the new updated ID, and I am modifying this to give me this new array. So now I have all 100 documents here that were sitting there previously. If I scroll to the bottom, boom, there we go. Number 101, hello YouTube, with that same file ID that was output previously. Okay. So what this does is it gets data from the previous nodes. It gets the existing knowledge base array and removes the old document from that array. Because remember, if it was an update, we would delete it. But in this case, we didn't have to do that. So there is no old document ID. That was a null. That's the reason that that previous code node passed a null. So there wasn't an actual modification in this instance, but I'll show you again with updating this particular doc here in a second. And then we're going to update and add the new document and return the entire new array. I've also set up this particular object in a certain way so that the HTTP request for the patch, this has the correct structure. And you'll see this is a nested object. We have body, conversation underscore config. We get that from our get agent. Then it's an agent prompt knowledge base. Okay. So now that that is executed, update agent KB array. So I update my entire agent, and the output is the entire agent config again. So if I go back here, you'll see in knowledge base, if I open up the agent that this was tied to and I go to knowledge base, where's my, I have an error in here now? Unknown document. Oh, this is an old one. There it is. And just had some, sorry, I had some old stuff rolling over in here. So you'll see that Hello YouTube is also, in addition to being a knowledge base store, is attached to the agent. Now, that was a new document. Let's say that somebody that, you know, a content team, whatever, comes into the folder, opens up Hello YouTube and says, and updates this document. Man, 2025 was a great year. Can't wait to see what the new year brings. Okay, so I've modified this. This is going to be saved. So if I come back and I execute this again, you'll see that this existed before. So this picks up the deletion this time and pushes it through. If I look, once again, I have the same document, same Google Doc ID, same agent ID. But if I open up this extract ElevenLabs document ID, I get that document ID that we created previously, and is update is true. So there was a match. So this document name, Hello YouTube, they found it in the store in this array. So is it existing? Yep. Well, I got to delete it. Okay. And this output return from ElevenLabs is actually an empty output when it deletes, so you know that it worked. Then you download the new file and we get it again, and it goes through the same thing. Now, if I go back into the account and I look at Hello YouTube, you'll see the update. Man, 2025 was a great year. Can't wait to see what the new year brings. So when you have this set on a cron, you can set this, I have it set right now to every day at 12. You could theoretically have this set for every minute. Okay. It's just how much processing do you want to use, and how often are these agents going to update? But anyways, this is how you can programmatically on the back end update a voice agent inside of ElevenLabs, right? That way you get out of the habit of having to come in here and manually click and add, and, oh, I want to add a file. I got to click and upload this. I got to try to scrape, add a URL or a text file, like at scale, or just in general. It's much better to go into other places, other content management systems, and utilize them, and then just have your agent automatically update on the back end. So I hope that this was useful and helpful to give you an idea of how you can read through these APIs and understand how to manipulate documents tied in on the back end. Anyways, I hope you guys had a good holiday. and Happy New Year. I know it's been a couple months since I've posted a video. Need to get back into the groove a little bit here in 2026. But either way, happy building out there. Talk to you guys soon. Thanks.